Let's put up this headline right here to save money. Maybe you just shouldn't eat. And they started with breakfast. Just don't eat breakfast. And I don't know, maybe they do have a point as much as eggs cost. Maybe they might be on something. But they basically said starve, don't eat breakfast, make that sacrifice, not increase minimum wage to a living wage, not deal with corporate greed and price gouging, just don't eat breakfast and you will save money. So what exactly does the article state? We're glad you asked, we're gonna put that up. Several breakfast staples saw sharp price increases due to a perfect storm of bad weather and disease outbreaks and continued effects from Russia's invasion of the Ukraine. And this is again coming from the Wall Street Journal. Next, they go on to say, Gabriel, in this article, egg prices increased 8.5% in January from a month earlier and are up 70.1% over the past year, the highest annual rate since 1973. The deadliest avian influenza outbreak on record has devastated poultry flocks across the United States, leading the price of eggs to rise more than any other grocery item in 2022. I mean, folks, right now the eggs cost more than the chicken wings. That's real. Breakfast cereal increased more modestly in January from a month earlier, just 0.4%, but prices in the category were up 15% over a year, in part because of elevated global grain prices resulting from disruptions related to the war in the Ukraine. Now, the real kicker of the whole article is the last line in this very short article. And let us read this together. Breakfast lovers might be better off just having a cup of coffee, but go with roasted, not instant. Prices for roasted coffee declined by 0.1% last month, but instant coffee rose by a 3.6% monthly increase. God dog. And people are really feeling it at the grocery stores. Government data released Tuesday showed grocery prices were 11.3% higher in January than a year ago. But some grocers are pushing back. Put up this headline. As inflation stays high, grocers push back against rising food prices. Retailers are testing their leverage with suppliers as more shoppers seek cheaper alternatives to name brands, but near-term relief isn't likely. And the saddest part, seniors and low-income households are among the most hurt by the high prices in the grocery aisles. And we know this, but we're gonna put up this data. According to a survey, 63% rate food costs as the category of spending that increased the fastest in their household. This is up from 58% who reported food costs as their fastest growing category of spending this time of year. Food was the leading pain point last year. Well, Jessica, we got a problem. We've known it. I mean, this conundrum is not new. Inflation is one thing. We're still dealing with the pandemic, certainly the war in the Ukraine, but also what they forgot to emphasize is corporate greed. What's your position on this, Jessica?
I remember when it was don't eat avocado toast, right? Now it's just skip breakfast altogether to save money. It's almost like the student lunch debt crisis and not giving students meals at school is just preparing them for their future in our capitalist dystopia here. It doesn't make sense to have an economy set up this way, right? Corporations are raising prices. We're seeing profits are at an all-time high, yet wages are stagnant and have been since the 70s and under record inflation. Wages should be up so people can afford bare essentials. So despite our economy being more productive than ever, workers are not being compensated for their labor. And the Fed is raising interest rates, making it even more expensive to live, intentionally making more people unemployed. The government is cutting benefits and plans to continue to do so while not collecting taxes from the wealthy to provide public goods. That's the situation we're in. And the solution is working people should skip meals. It doesn't make sense. It's very difficult to tell a worker, hey, you know what, even though you have to go and do labor all day, how about you skip the first meal of the day? You have less energy so that you can save some extra money and then give that to your landlord at the beginning of the month. Like, it's very hard to read and watch the news and not come to the conclusion that the social contract is broken and we need to come up with a better organization of our economic system.
Yeah, we do. That greed. Corporate greed is driving. It is the driver here, notwithstanding some of these other variables, which we know do exist, but it is corporate greed and it is the way that the rules are set up. The government can make new rules. Government job is to call the files. And this is a file. This is a file on the American people. And we are not helpless, okay? Just like Buttigieg is not helpless, this federal government is not helpless. Deal with these daggone owner donors. And don't tell people to skip meals. I mean, too many people are already food insecure as it is. This is a callous calculation in the hegemonic nation known as the United States of America, telling people just don't eat.